Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Julie Mann. I'm also known as the Habit Fixer, and I love helping women to regain their mojo and age well. I do that with EFT, which is a really simple tapping technique, nutrition, skincare, and digital products. And talking of digital, I'm joined today by Alan Braithwaite. If
Hi,
you've never
Julie.
heard of him, hello.
Hi.
He is co-founder with his wife Emily of Yellow Tuxedo, hence everything is yellow. And he's also the ringmaster at the Digital Circus. And I can't wait to hear what you got to say. And what I know about Alan, he actually puts the F in fun. What can I say?
Oh
So
no, don't say that, Julie. That's like like that's going to a party and go, meet my mate over here. They're crazy, they are. Like it's quite a lot to live up to.
I don't doubt that you will, though, Alan.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
just putting it out there. And I
Right.
know you're going to be talking about 5 habits to boost your online presence, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, baby. So why don't you go ahead?
Right. And not only am I going to do 5 habits, I'm going to try my hardest to do it in a kind of top of the pops countdown style for the top 10. That's the plan, right? So we want some liveliness. So feel free to kind of cheer like you're in the audience, but watching Pan's people as number 2 kind of come up back in the day. All right. I
Perfect. Not show your age or anything, Alan.
well, actually, Pan's people were before me, but I was more Mark Goodyear and people like that, and Joe Wiley. Oh no, that was the 90s. No, I'm older than that. Anyway, shall I carry on with my five
Carry
habits?
on. Yes, do.
Number 5, Julie. We've got like I have to put my caveats in at the beginning, my kind of the principles of all of this. So Yellow Tuxedo, we are very much about growing online, showing people how to do it to simplify the growth of your business, basically. But we are massive on human connection and fun. So on one hand, I could talk about online visibility, which let's be honest, is mind numbing, right? Or on the other hand, we can talk about having fun and human connection that will grow your online visibility. So these 5 things today are from a human connection fun perspective rather than a geeky how-to perspective. All right, so let's do this. Right. No,
Perfect.
number 5, sliding straight in at number 5, we have gamify your growth, right? Everyone likes to have a bit of fun. Everyone likes a bit of gaming. So gamify your growth. You are ultimately playing with yourself here, not literally playing with yourself, because that's something you should do in the private and comfort of your own room, but you are kind of engaging with yourself. So there's a few ideas. Set yourself a challenge, right? Set yourself a kind of growth challenge for followers, for views, for likes, for comments. Set yourself a goal, gamify it with a prize, whether that be a cream cake, a day off, sitting down and watching your favorite box set, whatever you choose for it to do. For me, it would be going for a run, obviously. But set that goal and reward yourself. Keep it simple always. Don't go super stretch at this stage. Just set, if you normally get like 5 likes on a post, set yourself the target of 10 likes, right? How am I going to get 10 likes of this post today? So, keep it reasonable. I know that's 100%, but keep it reasonable, right? What else can we do for gamifying our growth? Make it social, right? Do it with others. Set yourself a challenge against someone else. Who's going to do it first? Or do a live stream together and go, we're going to get 10 people watching this live stream live, or 100 or 1,000 or however many is your usual. Set some more on top of it, but do it with other people. We all know it's okay doing it by ourselves, but it's way more fun with other people, Julie. We all know that. And so when we're gamifying our growth, make it social, do it with other people. What can you do from like a live stream together, from, that whole, as I said, setting yourself a challenge for engagement or views or whatever. Another one, I've borrowed this. I always like to say if I've borrowed this. Now, the problem is I can't remember who put it out there. And I actually spent 10 minutes trying to find it and I couldn't find the person I was looking for. But Project 100 rejections, right? Do 1 to 100 on a board. Start talking to people. Start asking them, whether it be on DM, well, if we're talking online presence, it should be on the DM, and start asking people and set yourself the goal of being rejected 100 times, right? do it, because chances are you're going to convert at least a one or two of those 100. But project 100 rejections, absolute reframe, shift in mindset when it comes to online presence, right? So that is number 5, gamify your growth. And it is, oh, I love the idea of just having a bit more fun with the stuff we do online every day. Okay. Straight in at number 4, but from the heady heights of somewhere heady that I can't think of quickly enough for this top of the pops kind of thing, is just get interacting, right? Just so many people dump and run when it comes to online presence. They just think it's like we've all seen Field of Dreams, build it and they will come. It's not gonna work to a certain extent anyway, right? So get interacting, make it two-way, say hi. So the first thing we always say when we're talking about getting interaction is what we call hashtag be social, which is literally that, right? So let's imagine your business is a shop, and we're not in the online world, although most shops have an online presence. Your business is a shop. If someone walked into your shop, you would say hello. So why do people not say hello online? It drives me up the wall, from comments not being replied to thank you DMs. Like, I had people connect with me on LinkedIn who I DM'd messages to going, thanks for connecting, blah, 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 who have not replied, right? And I'm like, why are you bothering connecting with me then? You know, if we're not going to say hi. Now, I get it. If you've got hundreds of thousands, this could be slightly challenging, but the principle's still the same. You still see these people with massive followings reply to as many comments as they can, and get in the dirt, because that's where the growth's going to happen, right? It's not happening from the lofty heights of dumping and running. So be social always. Get interaction. Let's talk about live stream question and answer sessions, quizzes, whatever you want to do, right? Just get that. It's really easy for your content to be one way. It's so easy to dump and run. It's so easy to go, oh, I'm making lots of noise, I'm being visible, this is brilliant. But actually, the second it's two-way, that's when the magic happens. So from live stream Q&As, live stream quizzes, you know, this copyright yellow tuxedo 2024, you know, host a weekly pub quiz online that's just fun for people to come and engage with. There's so many things you can do online that it's a bit more fun. And if you don't want to live stream, because that's out your comfort zone, then just do a post about it. Right, weekly quiz, here are the questions, first person to chuck the answers down. You know, it doesn't matter what you do to raise your online profile, your online presence, but you have to do these things because normal gets normal, basically. And the last one is just theme challenges. I sort of said this under the live quizzes part of Get Interacting, but theme challenges. You know, if you're a branding designer, why don't you challenge other people to recreate the McDonald's logo? You know, if you're a copywriter, why don't you challenge people to come up with the best one-line introduction for a well-known brand or something like that? Just set silly challenges to get people thinking, talking, and engaging. Okay, number 3, it's dropped a place or so, right? Number 3 has, but we've got collaborate. Now, obviously, collaborate has been sort of woven through everyone else, but it's such a big one, it still needed its own place, right? Running a business is tough. Running a business can be very, I can't think, lonely. That's the word I couldn't think of momentarily. Even if you are in kind of charge of the marketing for a large company, at some point you will be possibly saying to yourself something like, they just don't get it. They just don't get it. They don't understand it, you know. So it's lonely, it's tough, it's hard work, all of these things, right? When we collaborate, when we do things with other people, like we've talked about already, doing it by yourself's okay, but doing it with others is way more fun, then life becomes better, right? So let's look at that collaborating as a specific thing, from guest blogs to email takeovers to social media takeovers to, you know, going live in a series together. You've got co-hosting online events, co-hosting webinars, co-hosting your own virtual cuppa morning. You've got so many things you can do with someone else. And the best bit, the bit that normally blows people's minds, is it can be outside of your industry, right? Because we want to build fans. We want to build fans of our brand. We want to grow our audience. So we're not always directly marketing to our ideal client. We actually just want people talking about us. We want to create a buzz around our brands, because that's where the true growth and excitement happens. We've talked about normal generates normal and black and white generates black and white results. So let's break out of that. Let's do something stupid. I saw a guy on LinkedIn yesterday who delivered his post whilst wearing his work clothes in the shower, right? Utterly ridiculous, but people are talking about it. And yeah, you might not want to get wet. No, I was going to do a proper innuendo there, but I won't do one. But, just be like, how silly can you get, right? With other people, because this is about collaborating here. Okay. Number two, we are entering the world of the really, really exciting stuff now, okay? Number two, stop marketing. Stop marketing. Stop it. Stop it completely. Stop marketing yourself. Stop marketing, trying to find your ideal client. Stop all of that. Stop your marketing strategy. Dump it. Dump that marketing plan. And are you ready for this? Oh, I've written it wrong. I've written it wrong on the notes, Julie. It says, I'm like, that's not right. Create do you know what? I can't find it. Oh no. A funification strategy is what we're calling it. A funification, right? I know it's tenuous. Hold fire. I'll dig into the behinds of it. And get creative with it, right? So this is about that whole engagement. This is about all of this, right? I'm just trying to encapsulate all of it in number two. So stop marketing yourself, but start thinking about, rather than putting that post up that sells what you're doing today, which is okay, by the way. We do live in a world where nothing is wrong. We're just trying to make things better and simpler and more efficient, right? And more fun and more creative and connecting with more people. That's all we're trying to do to achieve what we're trying to achieve quicker. That's the point here. So stop marketing yourself, stop those traditional marketing thought processes, and start throwing things on their head. Jodie Newman, Business Allotment, she is great for all this creative stuff. And I thought I was creative until I met Jodie, and she literally, I just cowered in the corner like Voldemort in the fifth Harry Potter, go, I'm not worthy in front of Jodie's creativity. But from I've gone blank. It's because I'm off on one. So yeah, create that funification strategy, get creative with it. What can you do if you're going to do something that you usually do? What's the opposite? If you do something from the office, what's the opposite? Jodie's got these great ones. I'm just going to steal Jodie's. Grab a pencil, grab a plastic jug. How can you use these to talk about what's coming up? Silly things like that. I talked about the guy in the shower a minute ago, and they're very much in the delivery element. But when it comes to that fun, that intention, that engagement, how can I be fractionally different today that's going to be engaging? And yes, if we go back to Project 100 rejections, if you come up with 15 new different things today to engage with your audience, 12, 13, 14 are probably going to fall flat on their face, sorry. But that one that lands on its feet, that's the one that's going to be different. That's the one that's going to make you stand out. That's the one that's going to engage with your current audience and help you grow your audience. And that's what we're looking for, because that's the non-wallpaper answer. That's what we want to do. So start writing down silly what things you can do that literally make no sense, but do them and see what happens. Okay, see what's happened. Yeah. And one of the other things I was thinking about, what about quotes? Who sends out quotes and proposals, right? How could they be different? What about, and this could take time, and this would be relevant to how big your quote is. If you're sending out a quote for 20 grand, you might want to go to a bit more effort, or if you only do a few quotes a year or a month. But what about delivering your quotes as a song parody? Hi there, here's your quote. It's in PDF form. And if you click on this, you've got me singing it as a parody to Britney Spears' Hit Me Baby One More Time. Who's not going to A, remember that, and B, want to watch that for at least 10 seconds, right? And once again, it doesn't even need to be good. This is the thing. These things don't need to be good, they just need to be okay, engaging, memorable, and grab people's attention. That's what we're looking to do here, because we want to be a little bit different. We want to stand out from the crowd. Okay, we're at top of the pops now. Number one, I always think it's the most obvious, but it's the one that people find the trickiest. They don't like it. They don't know how to do it. It's just not comfortable for people when they are running a business, and words like professional are used and all these traditional words. But number one is get personal, right? And that's not about the other people. This one is about you. In a top five that's meant to be all about human connection and fun, this one is about you. The more you give off, the more you share about yourself, the more people are going to be able to connect with you. If I put a post up, actually, if you go to my LinkedIn and look at my business posts, they get nowhere near as much as engagement as my personal posts where I talk about running, I talk about families, I talk about adventures and scouts and all these other things, which brings us on to this point of you are the niche. You're not in a niche. You're not niching down and all this other buzzwords. You are the niche. And we see this time and time and time again with other personal brands. Insert, if you're playing buzzword bingo, right? This is a ding, ding, ding moment, right? For the second. And we see this all the time. And if we take celebrity, let's use The Rock, right? Did The Rock niche down into the wrestling audience? Or did he create his own brand around The Rock? So when he moved from wrestling to films and he evolved, his audience followed with him. And then when he moved from films into kind of wider business and his tequila company, his audience went with him. He created a niche around himself. Now, in a world where there's 8.1 billion people, there's 5 odd million businesses in the UK, 99% of those businesses are small businesses. There is more, and that's just in the UK, that's not the world. We're in a world where creating a niche around you so you can evolve, you can adapt as you go move along. And your business, right? You can still create a brand around your business that's not a personal brand that people can buy into and evolve with as your business grows and adapts. But fundamentally get personal. Share that whole. Here we go. Here's one. You may not want to talk about your mental health, your kids, your credit status, and all these other things. But what are 5 hobbies you like? You know, for me, love of yellow, love of silliness, running, outdoors slash barbecue is what I call, and family. I'm okay sharing a bit of family stuff, right? So that's what I talk about, interspersed with business stuff. But it's those 5 things that attract, I say attract, I'm always nervous about saying words, things like this, attract our audience to us. And because there's 2 of us, Emily and I, it's the same, right? We both, Emily talks about our chickens and she talks about her kind of home eco stuff and creating her own cleaning stuff and baking and family stuff. So Emily, and gin drinking actually with Emily as well. So in at number 1, like, get personal. Okay, there's our top 5 habits to boost your online presence that are absolutely nothing to do with SEO, content, and all the other buzz stuff out there.
Mic drop moment. What can I say, Alan? I love that. So many brilliant ideas. I'm all about the fun. And it's so obvious whenever I speak to you or I see your post that that's what you're all about. Love that. Your first idea about making it a game and then talking about the possibility of, enrolling someone else to do it with you. I guess then you get accountability as well, don't you?
Yeah. If that, I mean, if you're not in a position to be, I mean, the accountability for yourself is you're rewarding yourself if you achieve the goal. By
Sure.
calling it gamifying, we're reframing accountability, because accountability almost has the impression that you're not going to do it, so you need someone to help you do it. Whereas if you reframe it as gamifying, then you are going to do it and you're going to reward yourself when you're there. The other benefit of doing it with someone else, other than the accountability element you mentioned, is when you're sharing your gamifying online, right? It becomes much more engaging with a wider reach and sharing each other's audiences. Sharing all this stuff is part of our adventure. And that's what, if we use The Rock or Ryan Reynolds or in these celebs, and yes, they are celebs. Yes, they are extreme examples, but we can borrow from that. And I think one of the biggest mistakes we make as small business owners is not thinking we can have our own piece of that. Yes, we may not have 85 million followers on Instagram or whatever The Rock or all these other people have got, but we may not need that many clients. You know, we've got 2,000 followers on Instagram. It's okay. How many clients do you need each year? If you only need 20 clients each year, do you need 10 million? Yes, life might become simpler and you could evolve your business, but it's all relative. So what was my point? Yes is the answer, but I was just giving a reframe on it.
But also, it's not really about the amount of followers, is it? Because some of them aren't really engaging. They're just kind of looking, you
Yeah, but
know.
that's okay. All of this
No,
is
absolutely.
okay. Yeah.
It's about that engagement, isn't it?
Yes and no, right? So
Okay.
the stats suggest 90% of the people who see your post, your content, will not engage with it. Then you've got to look at long-term nurture, right? So yes, we would like to put a post out and make £1 million off of that one post. Those days don't quite seem to be here in a minute at the moment. And we see this time and time again. Okay, Emily and I got invited to do a speaking gig at the VA conference last year, 2023, for a lady called the Amanda Johnson. She's so great. She has to have the word "the" before her name. And she said, I've been following you guys for years. We have never, ever seen her name come up. She said she'd been following us since our previous business, and we've been doing Yellow Tuxedo for, I don't know, 4, 5 years, something like that. I lose track actually. And she said, I was been following you since you're in the wedding industry, blah, 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 blah. And we're like, no idea. Went and had a look, found her name on our email list actually, which even then she'd only kind of, she was not a regular engager of our emails. So yes, we want to engage with X%, but the reality is the rest could still be seeing it, could be, and this is the embracing the grey part, Julie. We want to invoke the fact that people are going to discuss us. We want people to go, oh, I saw this thing online in the pub with their family. You know, I saw a company called Yellow Tuxedo. This dickhead was talking about XYZ, because you don't know where that's going to go. And that's what we want. So that's the whole marketing strategy. If you do a marketing strategy, you're going to identify your audience, you're going to identify their needs, and you still need to do this to a certain extent, right? And all you're going to do is kind of push out to them. The second you make it a bit wider and you create this kind of engaging ecosystem for people to live in, that's where the magic happens. And we want magic because that's where you're going to create opportunity. You're going to see growth you didn't expect, and everything else. So yes, but no, as always, to most
Yeah, but
answers.
no, but I'm glad I asked you that question. So, you haven't always been, obviously you talked about the wedding industry, but you know, when you started Yellow Tuxedo, I know that came out of the suit that you wore at your wedding, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah, and you do look great in yellow.
Thank
So,
you.
was it really a gradual process discovering that actually you just wanted, you know, this fun factor, or was it something that you thought, no, when we start this business, this is what it's going to be all about? You know, how did it actually grow to what it is today?
Oh, I think it's just built in. Like I remember being employed. I was kind of like a territory manager for a period of one of my jobs, and we were organizing a conference and I went to the marketing department and went, I want frisbees. I want frisbees so everyone in the audience can throw these collapsible frisbees around the audience, right? With, you know, across the tables, it will be carnage, but everyone will remember it. Everyone will be having fun. And the marketing department went, no. You know, there's no ROI on that. Insert corporate BS answer here, right? And I just thought they've got no idea what they're talking about. Absolutely no idea. They're going to come up with like a pen topper, you know, and a USB stick, and I'm like, that's only ever going to get you so far. If we wanted to make our team happy, we wanted them to remember stuff, we wanted them to go home from work going, I had a good day at work today. And for that to truly happen, and then be fans of their company, not just employees, but fans of their company, we need to go to the next level. And that's where things like, and this is a ridiculous example, but I think you get the point, having collapsible frisbees at a conference would be amazing, because you wouldn't say feel free to throw them, but I'd be sitting there waiting for the first person to throw it. And then you'd have, I don't know, we had a couple of hundred people across the country or whatever at the time, and start just launching these collapsible frisbees around. It would have been brilliant. But
Oh my God, that's absolutely the kind of conference that I'd want to be at for
no,
sure.
exactly. Well, that's what we're doing.
Well, what I need to ask you, Alan, obviously you've mentioned Emily. I know you founded the company together. So just tell us a little bit about how it is working with your wife.
It's amazing. Most people normally say something like, "Oh, I could never work with my other half," and fundamentally, it's about having an aligned goal. As long as you've got an aligned goal and you kind of know each other's strengths and weaknesses, so you can support each other, then it's brilliant. And you know, I'll try and do the too long don't read answer, but when you have in my once again overview of this, when you have a couple who are employed in separate things with a family, we've got a young family, then it's pulling in different directions. The second you're kind of all in together with an aligned goal, you're both going in the same direction. And if you go back to the kind of couple with a family, they're both employed over here, they've both got their managers go and do X, Y, Z, their own goals, their own time limits and frames. And then they go on holiday. They have an amazing time on holiday because they've got an aligned goal, the holiday. And then they go back and they go, "Oh, this is rubbish." We're all in. We're doing the same thing. So there is no reason for it to not be amazing. So it's amazing.
Oh, I love that. Great answer. Anything you want to say, Alan, before I stop the recording?
No, not really. I mean, as always, we'd love people to come and be part of our audience. So we're at Yellow Tuxedo everywhere. Come and have some fun. And yeah, that's it. That will do for today. Thank you very much for having me on,
Fantastic.
Julie.
So if you have been absolutely blown away by what Alan's got to say and want to find out a little bit more about him and Emily and the company, then check out his links down below this video. Mine will be there as well. And if you've really enjoyed it, please just subscribe. Why not subscribe to Alan's channel as well? And really, if you feel that somebody you know could benefit from this gold that Alan's just shared, then please, please share it. So thank you once again, Alan. It's been an absolute joy to have you on.
Always a pleasure, Julie. Always a pleasure.
And thank you everyone else for watching.